Welcome back to Ian and Jill's 2-Up Motorcycle Adventures. Remember last night we couldn't convince the Shell garage just give us a full tank of fuel? Turns out, this morning we went to a different pump and it just worked. On this tank of fuel we plan to ride to Lofoten and stay the night at Narvik, which is on the northern side of the peninsula. Although it's dry while we're leaving, it's pretty overcast and some of the clouds look rather threatening. Although the sun broke through from time to time, and the scenery was stunning, we really didn't see it at its best. Rush hour reminded us of some of the remoter areas of Ireland. We felt quite at home. We could see some heavy showers on the horizon, and it wasn't very long before they caught up with us. So out come the waterproofs. We encountered several tunnels en route, some of them quite long, 6 kilometres and more, others under the sea. One of them was restricted to one-way traffic, so we had a lengthy wait there. After we turned off the main road, the E10, it was about 20 kilometres to our accommodation. It felt delightfully remote. The Airbnb was very good, spacious, warm, and very well furnished. We settled in quickly and then went for a walk to explore our surroundings. The only restaurant opened Wednesday to Sunday, and this was Monday. However, there was a well-stocked supermarket less than 100 metres from the accommodation. Tonight we would be using the kitchen facilities to cook our own meal. The omnipresent smell of fish reminded us this was a fishing village, and with the smallest tourist information office I think I've ever seen. Day 61 was dry but dull. We decided to explore some of the remoter areas around Narvik, taking some of the back roads rather than the main roads. After 2 enjoyable days in Lofoten, it was time to take the ferry across to Bodo. We had about a 160-kilometre journey winding through the mountains, crossing between the islands either by bridge or in tunnels. There were plenty more stunning views, although the weather was still overcast until we got close to the ferry, and then it brightened up. On the way, we passed the 12,000-kilometre mark. Jill and I both agree we would like to come back to Lofoten someday to see if we can experience it in clear weather. We saw a lot of these wooden structures on Lofoten, and we speculated they were maybe for hanging fish up to dry, but be very interested to hear if anyone else can confirm that. I wish I could convey the joy of biking through such spectacular scenery. Those of you who have done it will understand exactly what I mean. We hadn't booked the ferry or even looked at the timetable, but when we arrived at the port, there was one had just docked and the vehicles were starting to disembark. Since we were on a motorbike, we were invited to come to the front of the queue, and then we were charged the princely sum of £12.16 for the 3.5-hour crossing. Listen up, Stena Line, you have really a bit of catching up to do here. We learned our lesson from the last trip and made sure the bike was well strapped down, although it was really quite unnecessary because the crossing was very calm and comfortable. They managed to fit all the bikes into this little corner. We had arrived at the port shortly after 2, boarded at 2:15, and then we only had about a half an hour wait before we were setting sail. Goodbye, Lofoten. God willing, we'll be back. We enjoyed the sunshine on deck for about half an hour and then went inside for some lunch. Prawns on wheaten bread and hot dogs. And then we settled down for a nap, and before we knew it, we were arriving in Bodo. As we approached the harbour, another similar ferry was just heading out, presumably on its way to Lofoten. Some other light craft were enjoying playing in the wake of the ferry, and it looks like one of these boats has either had mechanical failure or perhaps run out of fuel because it was being towed into harbour. The sun was still shining when we reached our accommodation, and we waited for a little while for our host to come and bring us the key. The flat itself was really nice. Almost brand new, I would say, and lots of space. There was also a fabulous kitchen area, but no sign of a kettle or mugs. So we popped out and got some paper cups and boiled the water in the one and only pan that was available. We then headed down to the seafront where we enjoyed a very nice fish supper. Watching this father and son with their radio-controlled cars brought back happy memories. And then we headed on round the coast to make more happy memories. We headed back to the apartment about 10 o'clock, but then, approaching midnight, we decided we should head out again to see the midnight sun, since this would probably be the last opportunity. It was well worth it. The first place we went to, which we'd been to earlier in the evening, didn't actually give us a view of the sun, so we decided to head around the coast a little bit further. We ended up at a point where the sun was setting behind one of the islands. So after it had set there, we walked along the shore a little further where it was clear that it hadn't really set at all. We then watched it for a bit longer, and it really just moved eastward along the horizon. First time ever that I've seen the sun going along the horizon horizontally. We watched it in awe for over an hour before it eventually disappeared behind the same island as before. Still not setting, but we decided it was time that we should retire for the night. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you'd like to follow the rest of our trip, and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video.